Mikael, my good friend.
Yeah, we are live.
We are live. Finally.
Yeah.
Mikael, you're meant to be my co-host for this show, and I feel like you've been letting me ride solo for 4 episodes now, so
That's true.
it's about time you come on. And
I'm so sorry. Well, we did try a few times. I had something or you had something.
that's true. And then sometimes we decide to go to the gym over doing our podcast. Well, at least you decide to go to the gym over the podcast. And
Yeah.
usually I, am with the kids or being lazy or whatever it might be.
Priorities.
Yeah, but we're going to talk a little bit about investing,
Yeah.
stocks,
Yeah.
a little bit about fitness because that's what we do together,
Yeah.
and what else? I don't know. Let's just see what comes up.
Just
But you were just asking me about
the book.
Jocko Willink. Yeah, I really like it. I think, I liked also another book, Middelton.
Okay.
He's on this SAS Who Dares Wins show.
Okay.
Do you know about that?
No.
But it's a show where they bring like average normal people and they take them through an SAS selection course. And he has a couple of good books. And I don't know. I like the way they're written by these military dudes.
Yeah.
And this one's very good also.
Yeah. I don't know about the other guy, but I have followed Jocko a bit, so yeah.
Yeah, and I guess he's on the Joe Rogan podcast as well. And
Yeah, he has been, but I haven't.
Yeah.
I haven't listened to those episodes actually.
they're good episodes. You should
Yeah,
listen.
yeah.
Yeah, and from a leadership perspective, he's pretty clued on what's going on. So
Yeah.
you should check it out. But I have to plug in and thank Andre from Best in Hell. So Andre is behind the camera and he does all our filming and editing and all that kind of thing. And his business, Best in Hell, provides marketing and photography solutions for small businesses. And
Does a good job.
mate, can't recommend him more.
Yeah.
I tell everyone that's like, hey, do you know a photographer, a guy that can help me with my social media or layouts? I'm like, man, call Andre straight away. And he also just started, this is interesting, he's the co-founder of a business called Munchie.
Yeah.
And we spoke about Munchie on a podcast with Mario Henningsen. I think it was episode 3. And Mario started a company called DropX. And DropX provides delivery solutions for like retail products. And now he has started a company that's delivering food, same like Volt and Foodora, but without any commission to the restaurants.
Oh, okay.
So, pretty cool. Yeah. He dyed his hair yellow and, I don't know, he's looking a bit Slim Shady like at the moment, but that's okay. But yeah, so, and then, I want to give a little bit of background on who you are, because, so, I actually don't remember how we met.
It was a magical moment.
Okay.
No.
Tell me more about this magical moment.
You don't remember
No,
anything?
well,
You were too drunk.
Apparently I was there.
No, I think we met at the gym. That's probably where we have met.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
We first started talking about, I had the idea of utilizing plots
Yes.
or areas of land as like almost a subscription model, utilizing micro houses or
Yeah.
mini houses.
Yeah.
And we're
Sustainability. Sustainable.
Sustainable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Living. That was
Right.
the idea. Yeah.
Right.
Or
And
the
we're still kind of we're doing small things on that, but it's
Yeah.
hard work. So we contacted a company called Coda.
Yep.
They're 24 to 36 odd square meter
Movable.
small units,
Yes.
and we've been trying to bring those into Finland as a entry to first home buyers option to sustainable living,
Yeah. Yeah.
compact living.
Exactly.
But it's been tough.
Yeah.
It's been really tough.
We've been trying to get projects with City of Porvoo, but there's always something that stops that project.
Yeah.
So, but next year maybe.
Next year maybe, yeah. we'll do some work on it over the winter and see what comes up.
Yeah.
Our most recent one was to convert, for those of you that aren't from Portavo's a very small city.
It is, yeah.
And
around 50,000 people.
right. And we had a lead on converting the old pumping station
Yes.
into actually we were only going to utilize the rooftop to put these compact units from Coda onto that rooftop and create a cool urban living style place.
Yeah.
But it turns out the building's derelict and it needs to be knocked down, right? Was that what happened with that?
Yeah, and they're not like too certain that it will sustain the weight on top of the roof, so that was a problem.
Right.
But I think that could be somehow we could manage that, but I don't know. We don't get any answers from Porvoo City.
Yeah, that's right.
But we have to bombard them. That's the problem, and
that's true. Also.
None of us have done that.
No, but did you also see that Coda had just put a second story on their ones in Austria?
No.
Yeah, so it looked like, just from the photos, that they had built this steel frame around the lower units to put a second story
on top of it.
Yeah, and they had built like a kind of terrace around them and made like this cool thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So they're not stacked like on top of each other, but a bit like.
Yeah, they're a bit like the lower ones are facing this way and the other ones are on top, like facing the opposite way. Yeah, that looks really cool. You should check out their social media.
Because otherwise they are stackable. Like
they can go on top directly on top of each other.
But if you want to like have them in different directions, then
right, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they're kind of like shipping containers out there where they can support the weight on all four walls.
Yeah,
but there's no like central wall or anything. So if you turn it the other way, then it's a bit weak.
Yeah, the pumping station, I think that with some steel bars or something, like we could support them from the walls of the pumping station.
Yeah, I totally agree.
But let's see.
But hey, maybe one day.
Maybe.
Let's see.
Yeah.
I actually had a meeting with Ronnie Colleen, business partner, obviously.
Yeah.
With VR Harmony upstairs and Thai Street Food Project. We had a meeting this morning.
Okay.
About his Marski project. And obviously one of the big things at the moment with the Ukrainian war going on is the cost of building materials, and that's been now holding up that project in Marski because
too expensive.
The building material cost is just insane at the moment.
Yeah.
Even for I'm doing the garage conversion of my house, and it's like 30% more what it usually would be.
Yeah. Steel is up like 60-70%.
It's insane.
So yeah, and it will probably still keep on rising.
Yeah, and you're a design engineer for Enervent, right?
I'm actually the R&D manager, so I'm the research development and innovation manager for Enervent.
Cool. And Enervent does ventilation solutions. Ventilation
solutions, yes.
Right.
Units.
How are you guys going with the shortage of materials and chips, and is this affecting you guys?
Yeah, it's a struggle. Actually, the business is good. We have record months of sales. Probably because all companies are struggling with getting materials and parts and so on. We have somehow, or with good people of course, sourced materials and we have been able to deliver even though there's a lot of problems. So we have so far so good, but it's stacking up, and it will not get any easier. I think this autumn will be the hardest.
Okay, that's your prediction. You think this is going to go long term?
Yes, I don't think that 2023 will be any easier. I think it will ease at 2024.
Okay.
Yeah, because there's a lot of backlog, even though that material will start to come in, and all companies are now trying to find other sources, and countries are starting to produce within their own country, and China is like out of the question. US is starting to do their own microchips. Europe is starting to produce their own microchips and so on. So there will be and ease at some point, but it takes time, and the backlog is like humongous.
Yeah. Is this backlog a result of COVID or the war? Or both?
It's both.
Okay.
It's both, yeah.
But you think, like now, do you think it could be a positive thing though? I mean, long term. So if we think, it was kind of monopolized the way in which we produce things historically.
Yes.
And now people are being forced to, like Europe, creating microchips.
Yes.
It could be beneficial for us in the long term.
I think it will be, in some sense, I think that companies will be even more effective.
Okay.
Prices will probably be higher. I mean, of course, it's cheaper to produce in China 50% of all the needed materials, but there's shipping costs, there's all this kind of stuff.
Right.
So I think that the efficiency will go up in some sense, but yeah, let's see. It's hard to say. It's hard to say. You can always it's just thoughts. There are many predictions, but I feel that it will probably benefit some companies.
Yeah.
In the long run.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's really going to be really interesting to see what happens economically from here, especially on the production standpoint. Finland, we produce a lot of wood and so on and so forth, or we have a lot of trees at least, but we send a lot of it overseas from what I understand.
Yes.
Mainly for the cutting resources and so on and so forth. But we do make paper here.
We do,
right?
Yeah.
Which I found really interesting because I'd never driven past a paper factory.
Oh, really?
Before.
Yeah.
And then one day I was like, what the fuck is that smell?
Yeah.
I was like, it smells so bad. Yeah. And then people started telling me they're paper factories.
Yeah.
And there you go. Fun fact.
Yeah.
But what do you think Finland is going to, actively pursue some kind of manufacturing that was previously done overseas, or?
That's an interesting question. I don't know. I haven't thought that much about Finnish economy and the Finnish companies. I'm not that into them. I'm mostly, if we talk about stocks and that, I'm in the US market mostly. Okay. But yeah, it's an interesting question because when you start thinking about all the costs of the deliveries, I mean the boat shipping and everything, and I don't think that that gas or fuel prices will go down, but not that much, because of course now they have found the opportunity to raise the prices. Why would they dump them? Because the oil prices are actually not at the top anymore, but you don't see that in the fuel prices.
No,
and
it's always that way.
It is, yes.
It's always that way. As soon as a barrel increase in price, boom, price of fuel skyrockets.
Yeah.
When it starts coming down, the cost of fuel goes way slower.
Exactly.
But in saying that as well, and I actually had this conversation with my father while we were in Australia, and Australia's almost come back to normal while I was there.
Yeah.
It's back down to like 160 or ish per liter. Australian dollars.
Yeah.
So it's around 110
in euros.
Yeah, roughly 110, 120.
Yeah.
And which is pretty good. But the conversation that I was having with my dad is that they also saw this shortage of fuel coming, so they had increased the amount of fuel that they purchased at one time. So even though the barrel cost is going down, they bought so much so high because they were concerned about the shortage that they're going to have to sell for that time for a longer period.
Of course, Even though the prices go down for the raw oil,
right?
They have bought such a big batch in high price, so they have to keep the prices high.
Exactly.
So of course that's one reason also.
But isn't that interesting though? Like when you look right, all businesses' price fluctuate, right? In the restaurant industry, we have the produce price fluctuates by season, so on and so forth. But menu price doesn't fluctuate. But if you think of it from like a business model perspective, wouldn't it be interesting if everything just fluctuated with one core resource? Imagine what I mean? One day you go to the sushi buffet and the sushi buffet is like €7.50. Right? Because the price of salmon's super cheap.
Yeah.
And then the price of salmon goes up the next week and you go next and you go, it's like €12.
Exactly.
But it's strange because what other thing increases so
the volatility
of it, apart from fuel?
Not many things.
Not many things like on a daily basis. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I find that really interesting.
Yeah. But I understood. I mean, in the restaurants and so on, you have, the margins aren't that good, but you have some sort of margin that is there for the volatility. But I don't know, this is not my expertise, but I have understood that the way that like fine dining restaurants especially can control this like price fluctuations is by decreasing the size of the portion. So they make it a bit smaller to like compensate the price rises, for example.
Yeah, that's true. Like you can,
it's easier than to show to the customer that you have to raise the prices. They keep the same prices, but they cut down on the size.
Yeah, and I mean, you can. It's very, you can tell very little if it's 100 grams of
exactly.
beef or
Yeah.
110 or
Exactly.
120 or whatever it might be.
Exactly.
So if you reduce the size of the steak by 10%,
yeah,
the customer usually doesn't see.
no,
But in our case, for Momo Toko, the way in which because we don't do any deep cooking in the restaurants, and everything's kind of outsourced purchased because we're utilizing so much product now
yeah,
that's the best way to maintain quality.
yeah,
And for us, we're very specific in the way in which we measure out portions. One, for consistency over like the chain, because now we have 8 restaurants, soon 11, and when one customer goes here or in Turku, they want the same size
of course,
portion,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Fast casual restaurant, same.
exactly.
But if you think about like McDonald's, sometimes you get a large fries and it's like full, and sometimes I'm not, you know what I mean? And sometimes you get it and it's like half empty. And I'm not saying that that's not what they're doing on purpose to save money.
No.
But it's just a matter of operational inefficiency.
Yeah.
So we try to kind of, in as many areas as we can, eliminate that possibility. But it's hard. It's hard to manage.
Yeah. And I think that chain restaurants is completely different story than, of course, like fine dining.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. So
100%. We actually, shout out to Tommy Bjork. He had just opened a new restaurant called Sancho May.
Okay.
In Helsinki, in Kamp.
Okay.
Hotel Kamp. So I really want to go there. It looks amazing. It's, fine dining, Japanese food.
Okay. Yeah.
Just side note, I think we should go.
Why not? Why not?
Yeah. Yeah. But talking about stocks, so you mentioned that you're mainly in the US.
Yeah.
What's going on with the
stocks?
With the stocks?
Well, I guess it's not anything that nobody knows about, or it's in that case, or in that sense, like unnoticed by anyone. But I mean, crypto and stocks, they have all plummeted. So, of course, why have they plummeted? Have they plummeted too much? That's always up for discussions. But of course,
what do you mean by too much?
I mean, of course, there are like equities that drop too much because people are over leveraged.
Okay.
So usually in these cases, of course, there's so many things that have affected the stock market. But for example, they got a lot of support by the government for the COVID in the US markets. So free money. So there was a lot of money running around. So people, of course, put the money in stocks and crypto and so on. That raised the price, like they were overpriced. So people paid too much for them. And of course, when it's booming, people also think, all right, crypto, NFTs, everything, they're skyrocketing. I'm becoming a millionaire. So they take a loan, or they take like, what's it called? They invest on margin. So they take they over leverage. It's like a loan. But then the problem is that when something starts to plummet, if you're on margin, you have to start paying back for the margin. If you don't have liquidity, you get a margin call, so you have to liquidate whatever you have to be able to pay back the margin that you have.
Oh, okay.
And that causes that, for example, this is just an example, but if somebody has bought like Bitcoin at its top and it drops 20%, and they have taken like bought it on margin, they might get a margin call to be able to pay back for the losses. And that might cause them to liquidate some stocks, for example, like Google or whatever. Yeah. And then when they have to liquidate, that causes that stock to go down. And now we're talking big money, not like small.
Yeah,
like
of course. Yeah.
Because there are institutional investors also with big money and so on. So that causes that stock to go down. And that can cause somebody else that has taken leverage on that stock to be liquidated, and he has. So it's like a domino effect.
Right. For the trading rookies out there, because I'm a trading rookie, right?
Me too.
Right, but
I'm a rookie also.
But I think you're more committed than I am.
Yeah.
But how did you get started into the market? Like, do you use what platform do you use? What do you recommend? Why?
That's I don't. This is not an investment advice, as they always say. But I wouldn't say that I recommend anything. I'm on the Giro.
Yep.
So that's a Dutch company.
Right.
Why am I in the Giro? Because it's the cheapest way to invest in US stocks if you live in Europe.
Okay.
So they have the smallest fees and so on.
Right. Yeah.
Of course, those always fluctuate and change and so on.
Yeah.
But currently, or at least in the past, that was the cheapest platform to invest in US stocks.
Okay.
It's not a trading platform in any way. It's quite simple. I don't know how safe it is. I mean, it's always safe to use. If we would be in the US or anything like that, there's like TD Ameritrade and these. They're very big like investment companies, and they have like the liquidity and it's safer in that sense. But many in the Finnish market use what's it called? Nordnet. Yes.
Yeah.
And that's a safe. I would say that that's probably one of the safest.
Is that one of the biggest trading platforms in?
Probably here in Finland. Yeah.
And on Nordnet, can you trade both Finnish and US stocks?
Yes.
And did they just open up to crypto recently?
I think so. I'm not.
I think they might have.
Nordnet. Yeah.
I'm not sure, but
yeah.
Don't quote me on that.
But for crypto, there's a lot of different. There's like Coinbase, and there's a lot of different.
Yeah, I have Coinbase and Binance.
Binance, yeah, that's a big one.
Speaking of coins, Andre buys all the cheap coins.
Really? Terra Luna is like
going. Bears and stuff like
that.
Hungry bears. I don't even know what that is.
No,
some ones you have pancake swap and everything.
Oh, okay.
Until they get the shit coins.
Yeah.
They can, those are the ones that got me rich. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dogecoin, like. Dogecoin only bought on Binance when it just got there, but like Hungry Bears, like they can give you a couple hundred a day.
If you get lucky, of course.
Jump on that. He put on his social media, when you want to cry, it's time to buy.
That's true. That's
true.
That's kind of true.
Yeah. I don't think I have quite a small portfolio these days. We've spoken about this so many times.
Yeah.
But actually, you downloaded Webull.
Yeah.
For me on my laptop.
Yeah.
And my phone actually, and that's pretty handy.
It is, it's good. You can't trade in Europe with Webull, but you can.
But it's good to follow.
Exactly. Yeah. They have quite a good platform to see the tickers and see how it's going. So
yeah, and you can get a really good overview.
Yes, and there's news. There's like
right.
I think it's like because it's free.
Yeah.
So it's a good platform if you just want to follow the stock and if it's going up or down or so on.
Yeah.
It's a trading platform in that sense. So it's not like Degiro is not a trading platform. They not have good tools for that. But Webull, for example, have very good tools, so you can do Fibonacci's and all this kind of stuff to follow the candles and see where it's going. So there's a lot of different strategies when you go into trading, if you're day trading or if you're whatever you're doing. Yeah, but I'm a long-term investor, so I'm not trading. I'm not like buying today
Warren
and
Buffett
selling
style.
Tomorrow. Yeah, it's more like Warren Buffett. Yeah. So my trading style, or not trading style, but I'm investing. So the money I put into stocks, they are there for at least 10 years.
Have you read
up or down? It's there.
Have you read Benjamin Graham's The Intelligent Investor?
I have read, not read it, but I have listened to the audiobook.
Right.
Yeah.
It's thick.
It's thick. It's long.
I've read it twice actually.
Really?
Yeah. I still don't get half of the stuff. I have a paperback.
Yeah.
And actually, it was recommended to me by my uncle.
Okay.
Who was an accountant with Deloitte and now he's happily retired in Bondi and surfs every day. And
Yeah.
so he did something right.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was recommended to me by him, and he said if you want to start investing, you have to read this at least 3 times.
Have you read Richest Man in Babylon?
No.
I have recommended it to you.
Oh, yeah, probably, but my memory is like a goldfish, and you know that.
Yeah, that's a book like from the 50s, 60s.
Okay.
And that's very known in the banking industry and so on. It's like stories that it's like a Bible in a sense, but it tells you in a simplistic way what like investing is all about.
Right. I'm going to put links into the podcast description of these books.
Sure. Yeah.
Because I think they're good. I think they're good for people to read.
Yeah, they are. They are. Yeah.
And you know,
just for the mindset, it's like very simple
sure.
things.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you have to be in a specific state of mind to read these books, though.
Yeah,
like they're not like 9 o'clock before bed.
No.
Read 20 pages. Like they're not like that. You know this. That's why I like this. You know, Jocko Willink and you know, and Middelton. You know, they're easy enough to read that you can kind of read, you know, 15, 20 pages and get tired and go to sleep.
Yeah.
But you know, banking, investing.
Yeah, you need to focus and be controlled. But the Richest Man in Babylon is in that sense easy because it's talking about the age when Babylon was like at its prime. And they talk about the richest man, and they like it's just stories how he got so rich and so on.
Okay.
And there's like combined different stories of different people's like life and how they got the gold that clinged at their side.
Well, I have to, yeah.
It's an easy like read in that sense. And very simplistic like rules. So there's like 5 different rules that how you get financially stable and so on.
Okay. Yeah, and another one's the Barefoot Investor.
That's something new for me. I haven't heard about that.
Yeah, it's an Australian book, and it's written really for like just everyday people.
Yeah.
And it's not really necessarily about investing. It's about utilizing the income you have.
Exactly.
To kind of get to a comfortable financial state.
Yeah.
But a little bit about investing and stuff as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll put the links in the description.
Yeah.
Because there's a few good books. Yeah, and for those, you know, what I found really cool is, you know, I'm opening the restaurants in Estonia.
Yeah.
And starting business in Estonia has been really interesting.
Yeah.
And, you know, thus far really positive. But I was at the bank, LHV, and I was sitting there in their lobby waiting for my appointment, and they have a whole library there of like business, accounting, investing, economics, a whole library of books around money, financial, whatever.
Yeah.
And you can borrow them from the bank. So you just, you know, if you have an account there, you go and you can borrow it for a month. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, that's really good.
Really good system. And I was just sitting there and I picked up like 5 of them. I was like, man, I've been looking for these books, you know, because in Finland you can't find every book in English. You have to usually order it in or order it from Amazon or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought that was a really cool thing.
That's a good concept, actually.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there were plenty of people there, you know, while I was there. I was maybe waiting 30, 35 minutes, and maybe, I don't know, 10 people had come and taken a book and, you know,
that's good.
Hired it out. Yeah.
I mean, if we talk about financials and the markets and so on, it has a very bad taste to it, and of course it's not the nicest thing that we have, but unfortunately money is something that our society runs with. So why not learn about how financials work and how you should, what the rules are with money, because that's unfortunately something that runs our society currently.
100%. You don't have to be passionate about it.
No.
But you have to have an understanding of it.
Yes.
And I think like, you know, it's very interesting because now Sade's 7, right?
Yeah.
And she's going through school and starting to learn these things. And one thing that I realized is like the lessons that she learns at school are really built for today.
Yeah.
You know, and what's happening today.
Yeah.
But the curriculum's really not built based on a forecast for what it's going to be when she's an adult.
Exactly.
And it was the same when we were at school.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, nobody trained me how to run a business throughout a
No.
pandemic.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was, I think, that's definitely one weakness that I think we could solve, is if we could educate people not for how to fix their issues today, but how to fix their issues in 15 years, 20 years, because I'd like to know how I'm going to fix the issues of when I'm becoming retired.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I'm already getting to that point at the age of 32 where I'm like, all right,
thinking about
at some
future,
point I'm going to have to stop working. And what does that mean?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Because what does it mean when I actually require passive income?
Yeah.
And I'm not going to rely, I've already decided I'm not going to rely on the retirement fund system.
Yeah.
Because
No.
Well,
We don't know.
I don't even know if it's going to exist at that point.
No, exactly.
And
or if it's like you have to be 91 before you can retire. So
yeah, exactly.
you have been dead already for 20
exactly.
years.
Well, it only stretches out further and further, doesn't it? I don't think the
does.
age of retirement's ever gone down, has it?
Nope.
So, and that's purely because and Finland I have great concerns about, mainly because we have a very young population that are focused on white collar work and not getting their hands dirty, and then also the fact that we have an aging, a heavily
we have
aging
too little
population.
of young people also. So.
Yeah, and that also. So
they can't sustain the needs of the big old population that is left.
Right.
So we don't have enough kids.
Yeah, providing or contributing to the gross domestic product required for the upcoming retirement pool.
Exactly.
Yeah, and it's going to be really challenging.
It is.
And if we combine that with inflation, and we combine that with increased interest, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Whew, it's making me nervous even talking about it.
It does, yeah.
And one thing that I've said to people throughout COVID is that the way the consumerism factor in Finland is quite lightly driven. So here we don't have huge excess amounts of passive income to drive the economy forward or recover the economy in a short period of time.
No.
And people aren't going and spending, because a TV is half someone's paycheck in most cases, in comparison to Australia where it's 30% of someone's paycheck.
Yeah.
So it's, a difference. But the concern that I have is that following what we've just experienced with COVID and lockdowns, and now we're going through, inflation, potentially hyperinflation, maybe. We don't know. No one really knows, right? Does anyone know? Who can I call? Ghostbusters.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
No, it's hard to tell what will happen actually. It's so dependent on what people will spend on. Will they stop spending completely?
Right.
Because if people stop spending completely, of course the inflation goes down.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, but it's very hard to tell. And I think that for me at least, I see more negatives over the next 5 years than I do positives from an economic standpoint.
5 years?
I think
Really?
so. What is it? 2022.
Yeah. So
I think
2027 will be the next good year.
Next good year.
Yeah.
I mean, because I don't know who it is. You might be able to help me on this, but somebody had written a thesis or an article on a 12-year financial cycle. Have you seen that? Or heard about it?
Yeah, I know about it. Yeah. It is. There's always a financial.
Is
cycle.
it 12 years?
It's approximately 10 years.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's always like a corrections. There's like corrections with like shorter times, and then there's always usually a recession or depression even. So that depends. That we are in a recession kind of.
Yeah.
But will it go to a depression? So that's the question. But
what's the defining factor for that?
That's a good question. Actually, it has to do with many things. But when some like stocks and everything, when they go down, like for example, if we talk about indexes, when they go down over 20%, that's a recession in the indexes.
Okay.
Yeah. And usually this happens that when people are starting to get liquidated and they don't want to spend and they want to take all their money out and everything, so then it stops completely. So the economy stops. People don't use money.
Do you think we'll get bailed out before that point?
Why would we?
Yeah, that's a good point.
We're not banks.
No.
Banks get bailed out. People don't get bailed out.
Yeah, but won't that help with?
I mean, how do you bail out? Do you push more money in the market? That's what they did with COVID. You can't, because at some point there's too much money out there, and there's not enough like wealth or like real things in the world that are backed up by that money.
Yeah.
The idea is to have much
like
money.
Commodities?
Not only commodities. I mean, if you build a house, you create value to the world.
Right.
And that house, I mean, you pay for the work and so on.
Yeah.
But that house will bring more wealth to the world, and that can be backed up by more money in the market, because now somebody can buy that house for a higher price than what's actually put into it. So that's the balance that needs to be between money and assets in the world.
Yeah.
But now there's too much money compared to the assets. So the money is like not worth as much.
Right.
So that's what makes the problem, that there's kind of an inflation, because you have so much money that you can buy and buy and buy, and the prices go up and up and up.
Yeah.
And it's not in balance anymore. So
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, this is just like,
you scared me.
I probably say a lot of things wrong, but this is just how I like.
No, it's good, because I think at the end of the day, whether you're right or wrong, I think it's also important that, like, you know, you're not a banker or
no, I'm not in any sense.
Any kind of financial genius.
No,
you're just a normal guy that's trying to make money in different ways, right?
Well,
you work.
A
full-time job.
That's the most important thing, that you have a job.
Yeah, right.
Because you need to have a stable income.
Exactly. You have a full-time job.
Yeah.
You have a couple of assets.
Yeah.
You have some stocks.
Yeah.
You know,
you just put aside just a bit.
But I think for normal people, that's the important part. That's the important factor.
And that's the thing that you should learn. That that's one thing in the richest man in Babylon. So that's the first rule. 10% of the money that you touch. So if you get a salary, of course, there's this most important things that you need to pay. But before you pay the restaurant, before you pay the gas, before you pay rent, before you pay anything, because that's you pay that to someone. That's your money that you pay to someone.
Yeah.
So from that lump of sum, 10% is yours to keep. So you should put that aside.
Right.
And you should
aside or invest?
Of course, investing is better.
Yeah.
Of course, yeah. So
but if you don't know how to invest it, then at least put it aside.
Yeah.
So you can work towards building a house or.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So that's the idea. That's your
10% of your gross. 10% of your gross income. After tax.
After taxing, and everything, that's mandatory.
Yeah.
Because gas, it's not mandatory. Food, it's not in a sense, it's not mandatory. No. Or you're not forced to buy that or use the money.
Right.
So if you get a salary, the 10% is yours to keep. So you keep that 10%. It's yours. You don't put that on it. If you buy shoes, it's not. You give that money to somebody else.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So that's the idea. One of the rules, that at least 10% you put aside. Yeah.
It's a good rule.
Because that's yours to keep, and then you can like sow that 10%. And when you sow it, then you can reap what it produces. So that's like investing. So if you put that 10% on something that can grow, you can reap that has grown, and you can again invest that, and then it will accommodate. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Fun facts. No, I think it's a really good point, and it's a really good, as I said, I'm going to put the links in the description, because that's obviously a book that I think.
That's a good book.
And the Barefoot Investor actually has some similar principles.
Yeah.
And about snowballing loans and so on and so forth. And Jenny and I try to, Jenny and my wife, we try to apply some of these basic principles also.
Yeah.
And we find that even if we can't do it every month, at least if we can do it for 6 months of the year, it also helps us. Some months are more expensive. You know what I mean? Like,
of course,
winter heating.
Yeah,
our heating bill goes from 150 to 400.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So sometimes you don't have the space with your fixed costs to put away 10%. But if you understand the basic principle of what's required of it, and you build that into your budget, then
yeah. And of course, life is full of like surprises. So something can happen that you need to take from everything that you have put aside. You need to use from that.
exactly.
But that's why you have it aside. So you're not in complete like you have to take a loan or something just to go to the doctor or whatever it is.
Exactly.
I mean,
Exactly.
it's just like a backup. So yeah.
Right. Speaking about home bills and stuff like this, so obviously the price of gas is ridiculous at the moment.
Yeah.
And I had calculated that, including all costs, including like parking, car maintenance, tire wear, fuel, it was 57 euros a day to drive to Helsinki. So it's 51 kilometers to the center.
Yeah.
I think roughly.
Yeah.
So even if I don't drive anywhere from there, which I usually do,
Yeah.
the total cost is about 57 euros per day. And so I've been getting the
crazy.
bus,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, how have I forgotten about this? I was like, why do you need a limo driver when you literally have a bus driver?
Yeah.
So the bus return, I think, is the minimum I think is 12 euros per day
Yeah.
if you buy like this season
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
ride
Yeah.
card or whatever.
But think about how much you.
Right?
Yeah.
Huge difference.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
of course, everybody doesn't have the possibility to use a bus, but I think that a lot of people could use the bus.
Yeah, and I think at least public transport is also supported from the social side.
Yeah.
So there's things you can get for that.
Yeah.
But Yenny and I, we sold one car just to reduce our monthly bills and so
Yeah.
on and so forth. But what I really wanted to talk about was electric cars, because I've been trying to get some reviews on. I have a diesel car now,
Mhm.
and it's getting to that point where I need to change it.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at electric cars and I'm
Yeah.
looking at hybrids.
Yeah.
And you're about to get an electric car,
Yes.
a Polestar 2
Yes.
in black
In black.
with a roof window.
With the roof window. Yeah. Yeah. That's something I wouldn't need, but yeah, it's part of the package.
Yeah. And why did you go for the Polestar?
It's different.
Mm-hmm.
Also, when I choose a car, I need to feel at home when I sit in it. So I don't just buy a car. I'm kind of a feel guy. So I tested out like the Q4 and all the different versions that are for fully electric cars. Of course, the price also. I don't want it, it's not even possible if it would be like over 60k or something.
Yeah.
So the Polestar is something that was in my budget, or in the budget. It's a company car, so in that sense, yeah.
Yeah.
And also when I sat in it and I tested it, it felt like home. So yeah, it's very much a bit based on the feel.
So it's from what I could see, it's a little bit less space agey in comparison to a Tesla. It's a little bit more kind of like a normal car.
Yeah, it's more like a normal car. It feels like a normal ICE car. So it has all the buttons and like real physical buttons and so on. Like the Tesla, everything is from the touch screen. It's a bit it's good also. I mean, the Tesla has probably the best technology, or does also have the best technology, and is the most efficient and so on and so on. But it doesn't feel like home for me in Tesla. It's too open. The materials aren't like into my liking. The I shouldn't say this because I'm a big Tesla investor, but the quality,
the price is just
it's plummeted. Yeah, it's plummeted. Yeah, but it has plummeted already. But yeah, anyways, the quality isn't in my liking either. I'm more like a German guy. It has to be genau everything. So
big genau.
Yeah.
Right.
So and the Polestar, the quality, it felt really good. All the materials, so nothing like creachy plastic and
Is there any
it's simplistic and
Right.
so on, but it's still like a normal car.
Is there any issues with the battery life during the winter here? Because I mean, I actually looked today. I have listeners overseas, or we have listeners
Really?
overseas.
You have, yeah. I haven't been part of this at all.
So, but here it gets like minus, let's say average minus 15.
Yeah.
maybe every now and then it gets to like 23,
Yeah.
but not all the time.
Yeah.
Are there issues with the batteries at that temperature?
No.
Okay.
Actually, it's funny because I also had all these like thoughts about the electric car, and most of the people have like some sort of a view on what the electric car is. So then think about that. If it's too I need to speak louder. But yeah, anyways, people have like their, how do you say it in English, like
Worries.
yeah, worries, and they have their like views on the electric car in some sense that it doesn't work when it's cold, and the range isn't good enough and so on. But it's a completely different concept with the electric car. Actually, in the winter, it's easier with the electric car. You don't need to start the motor at all. You press the button and then you go. The only problem is that in winter the range is slower because the batteries are so cold.
Right. How much lower? Is there
It's usually you can even reduce like 30%. But there's a lot of videos, there's a lot of people that have reviewed the first Polestar actually in Finland was sold to Lapland.
Oh, okay.
The first Polestar in Finland is in Lapland actually.
Okay.
I have seen it's a woman that has it. She's a real estate agent, and she got a Polestar. But anyways, it's not the whole concept or the idea. I mean, people talk about the range like it's such a poor range. You only get like 250 kilometers or 200 kilometers or whatever, you know. So it should be like my diesel car has like 800 or 1,000 kilometers. But the problem is that how many I understand like people that are salesmen or something. There are a lot of them on the road and so on. So it's good to have like 800 kilometers of range because you don't want to stand at the pump station. But how many people drive more than 50 kilometers one direction?
Yeah.
Because the difference between an electric car and an ICE car is that the electric car is at the pump always when it's stationary.
Right.
You go from home, you have had it plugged in, you got like the 300 kilometers or whatever. Usually nowadays like 300 is a quite common range. You drive to work, it's 50 kilometers, 100 kilometers. It's parked.
It's plugged in already and you're back up at 300.
It can, yeah, and it can be plugged or not, but I mean, how much do you actually like travel during one day?
Yeah.
So it's the concept is it's completely different. You don't go to the pump station and like put fuel in it.
Right.
It's not like, okay, now 150 kilometers, now I have to go and fill it up, because it's always when it's stationary, it fills up. So it's ready to go.
Are you buying electric because of the running cost or for the environmental factor? Because the price of electricity is going up.
Yeah.
Do you have concerns about
No.
that?
No. Why I'm buying electric is it has nothing to do with the environment at all.
Okay.
I had a hybrid or have a hybrid. That was why I took a hybrid was because of taxing.
Yep. Right.
So it's a lower tax on the hybrid. When you get used to the electric, I really like it. It's just a nice drive feel.
Okay.
The quietness. I mean, it's.
So you just like it better.
I like it better. Yeah.
Okay.
It's like some people like diesel because, how the motor works and so on. The feel of the torque. Yeah, exactly. And in the electric, the torque is like instant.
Right.
So even though there's not a lot of, it doesn't need to have a lot of horsepower, but the torque is instant.
Okay.
So I like the electric. That's one reason. The other one, I want to try it. And when it's a company car, it's easy in that sense. Third reason is taxing again, because there's zero taxes on electric cars now in Finland.
Okay, so how does that work? So
there's no car tax on the electric car.
But
so
you actually buy it from a company, so it's not coming out of your paycheck.
It comes out of my paycheck because the taxing also has to do with how much because when you have a company car, you pay for it.
Yeah.
But it's a lower payment due to the fact that there's a lower tax on the electric cars.
Got you.
So you can have more expensive car with lower costs.
Right.
Yeah, and now when there's zero taxes on electric cars, when you buy new, you get more for the money actually also.
Got you.
So yeah.
Got you.
And one reason is also our company, the company cars that we have, they are also monitored by the group that we are part of.
Okay.
And carbon dioxide footprint is one thing.
Okay.
And the company cars are, of course, one part of the company's business.
Yep.
So if we have company cars that have a low carbon footprint, that's like a plus for us. So that's one reason also.
Okay. There you go. Yeah, I haven't decided yet, but let's see. But I do some longer trips, and I don't want to have like that.
I mean, vacations
range.
are like times when you do longer trips.
Yeah, but I'm like driving a U-Vascular.
Yeah, that's not a problem.
No?
No.
Okay. It's like how many kilometers? 180?
180 probably, yeah. Under 200,
true.
But
That's
it's
true.
no problem.
That's true.
And also it's funny if you go on a vacation and so I think the problem will be that because electric cars have been booming now due to the fuel prices. So it will be interesting when we have the vacation season that will there be any like free charging stations because probably will create some queues before we get our charging network up. Like in Norway, for example, they have had electric cars for so long, so it's very good the charging network. So there's a lot of charging stations.
Man, I was in Norway a couple of weeks ago for rugby.
Yeah,
and every second car is electric or a Tesla.
Yes.
Every second
yes.
car.
I think it's over 50%.
Yeah.
I think it's 70% that's electric in Norway.
Probably, yeah. Yeah, crazy. But the Audi GT looks sick.
It does. Yeah, it does.
It looks really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
it's
like,
still
it's $200,000.
Not that much, no.
Okay.
But over 100 grand. But it's in Finland. I mean, in Norway, it's even better to have electric because the government is deducting the price. So you get, I mean, a Tesla Model S is, I don't know, is it 60,000 or 70,000 Norwegian crowns. Or euros. I mean, 700 like Norwegian crowns. So they have much cheaper prices also on the electric cars because the government is like deducting or
incentivizing it.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
So
really interesting. And the last thing I want to talk about is training.
Training, okay.
Well, I'm pretty sore after yesterday.
You are?
Yeah,
okay,
my triceps are killing me.
The triceps, okay. Yeah.
I think it was from the skull crushers.
Yeah, it is. That's the only thing that we did. Oh, we did dips also.
Oh yeah, that's true. But you and I both have training backgrounds, and I've talked a little bit. I had a podcast with Sada Smets, who has this kangaroo jump concept here in Porvoo. Yeah, we should do that. We should do that one day.
Yeah, that would look funny.
Yeah. I'll wear a dress. But we both have training backgrounds, and now we train together. We're kind of, I could say we're officially training partners. And but I'm much weaker than you are. But you're an old man, so your heart rate's usually around 600.
How does that work?
Well, I can go for longer, but can lift less. Yeah. But what's the training program that you're following now? Because I come to the gym and you're just like, it's up a day and we're doing this. And I'm like, okay, cool. But what is this program? I saw you yesterday looking at this sheet that you had. Yeah. It's something new for me because I have trained since I was 15, but the bro split is something that I used the most, in the past. The bro split. Explain it for people.
Bro split is that you do one day you do bicep, and one day you do tricep, and one day you should do forearms. No, but it's like 5 splitted. So you have arms, you have back, you have chest, you have legs if you remember to do them, and so on. So you and then you have shoulders. So you kind of split it up in many parts. The nice thing is that you can really exhaust the muscle that you are training. I like that.
So you don't do back and bis?
No, that's more like a push-pull. Legs. That's like
so
a tree split.
You just isolate a single muscle group.
Yeah, exactly.
How do you fit? What do you do for biceps in a whole session?
Well, it's usually arms, so you do bis and tris.
Bis and tris, right. Yeah.
but it's more like, yeah, it's a so-called bro split. But yeah, that's what I did for a long time. So very, very long sessions and very many work sets and so on. So that's why I have this kind of a diesel kind of work.
High volume.
I can do like long sets, and usually in the end of the training I start to warm up. But yeah, for the longest time I did that. The problem with that is it's probably why people do that is because of bodybuilding and so on. But those are usually enhanced, and it's a completely different story. But for natural trainers, it's probably better to do like shorter sets and sessions and have more frequently, especially when you're advanced trainer, because the protein synthesis is shorter. The time when you can kind of grow is shorter and shorter,
right,
the longer you have trained.
Yep.
So if you have a lot of training background, it's better to get like more frequent.
Yeah, I don't grow anymore.
You do?
No, I don't think so.
You do. At least the stomach grows.
Yeah, that's true. That's one part that just does not give up.
Yeah, but I mean I haven't grown in I mean it's the 5-10 first years that you have some sort of, but then you kind of it's just stalling out. Like most of people wouldn't train nowadays just to train.
Yeah,
I just train because I like it.
What's the program that we're doing now?
Now it's a 2-split program. Yeah, from the bro split, then I have done also the 3-split, so that's usually push-pull legs.
Right.
But now it's a 2-split program. So the benefit with that is when you do upper and lower. So you can do actually each 3 times a week within a week span. So you get more frequently. You get the training more frequently, so you can do chest. The chest gets its sets like 3 times a week. Instead of when you do 3-split, you can do like 2 times a week.
Yeah.
So with 2-split program, you can do it 3 times a week.
Yeah.
So you get them more frequently.
Yeah.
And then you can reduce the volume to keep the total volume is the same. But when you reduce the volume, of course, you can do like more heavier sets at each training session, because you're not exhausted by the work that you have done before. If you do a very long workout, of course, the first sets that you do and movements that you do, you get most out of, because you can use load and so on. But then in the end of the session, it's more like you just do something, and you probably don't get that much out of it.
Right. But I've been really enjoying the upper lower.
Like, yeah, it's quite good. Yeah.
Especially for me, I don't have so much time for training these days. Like I train twice a week on a good week plus rugby.
Yeah.
On a good week.
Yeah.
And on a bad week, once in the gym plus rugby.
Yeah.
But like today's rugby training, but Tuesdays is also my long office day.
Yeah.
So it's just not possible.
Yeah.
But Thursday, and then I have captain's run Friday, and then we play.
Captain's run.
Yeah.
What's that?
Because we have a international game against Moldova.
Oh.
Yeah. In Helsinki, Bolt Arena, Saturday at 2:00, I think.
So that's a shout out.
That's a shout out. Yeah.
What does it mean?
Watch.
What does it mean, captain run?
It's without the coach. So the captain of the team takes the session.
Yeah.
Traditionally, and it's just like a team run.
Okay.
Before the game.
Oh, okay.
So
it's like a warm up or something.
Yeah, it's pretty light, and you just run through kind of your strategy for the game and what you're trying to achieve and so on. So we had a really good game against Norway, and now we have a possibility of being promoted.
Really?
In the European rankings.
Cool.
Or the European division, I should say.
Cool.
And if we go up, then I think we might play Sweden, and that would be cool before I retire. Finland.
So this is your last year.
Yeah, well, as you know, I need open surgery on my heels, which is a bit shitty, and that takes me out for roughly half a year.
But that's after the season.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll do it after the season.
Yeah.
I'll push through the season.
Yeah.
But because I've been playing in Sweden also for Exiles, it'd be cool to play against them in Finland v Sweden for rugby. But yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
But I've been enjoying our upper and lower body sessions. And
yeah.
Yesterday was a bit different in comparison to the other upper bodies we had.
Yeah, you haven't been in all of the sets
No,
yet.
I usually end up being there on
three.
fucking legs day.
Yeah, yeah. But that's when I still did just 2 times a week, but now
okay.
it's 3 times a week.
Right.
So it's there's a bit different.
Yeah, but I also like at the end of the session you just do like
a weak body
a
part.
weak part.
Yes.
But we've decided we don't have any weak body parts.
No, we're perfect.
Yeah.
Or actually, the problem is that everything is a weakness, so it doesn't matter what we do.
That's also true.
Yeah.
Just the fact that we're there is enough.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I mean, lower body is usually calves.
Yeah, that's true.
So.
Yeah, for me actually it's biceps.
On lower body days.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever you say.
That's my weakness.
Exactly. Yeah. You can never do too much biceps.
No. Talk about bro split.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's biceps, triceps, and then biceps, chest, and biceps back.
Yeah.
Biceps, legs.
Yeah. Legs? No, that's out of the question. No.
Yeah. But hey, I think we spoke about a lot and we compacted a lot into our first podcast together, and you're going to be on the show more frequently, aren't you? So I think next time we catch up, we should talk a little bit more about compact housing solutions.
Yeah,
and,
the concept
and Coda, and what options there are out there for people that are interested in the compact housing market.
Yeah,
and I think that would be a good place for us to address.
Yeah, sounds good.
Cool. Good to see you, brother.
You too.
See you.
See you.